So to really explain this video and what I really mean, let's first close these windows because there is some wind noise coming in. Let's turn on the AC because it is kind of warm in Vegas today. Thank goodness, finally. But to really explain what I mean by this video is, did I buy the wrong car? Well, the short answer is no. I don't think I bought the wrong car. I think I bought the car I wanted all along. But the long answer is, well, it's going to require me to kind of go into it a little bit more. So let's do that. Now, as I'm sure you guys have read the title and you're thinking to yourself, C63 versus E63, what is he talking about? Well, if you go back a few videos ago, it's actually been a decent amount of months now, I did an update video on all of the cars, and it was specifically, I was driving my CL63 and I said, you know, my plan is to sell the CL. That was always the plan. It wasn't a long-term car. Sell the CL and buy myself a W205 C63. I was actively hunting for one. And then I go out and buy this with no indication of anything of me trying to buy this or anything. And it was like, why? Why did I buy the E63 over the C63? Well, there's a decent amount of reasons why. And I mean, it's kind of what this video is going to be about. I want to go over those reasons. You know, I don't know how many I'm going to pull out. I mean, this is just kind of one of those things where I'm just going to tell you guys exactly how I felt about the car and why I bought what I did, and we'll go from there. So the biggest reason of why I bought the E63 over the C63 was because I just wanted more room. So I had the CL since January of 2024, and I sold it in January of 2025, technically, when I traded in for this car. So about a year, and it was a great car, a great amount of room inside. It was very comfortable. I mean, it's two-door S-Class. It can't get better than that. The biggest thing was if I ever gave rides to people, which is kind of rare, if I ever gave rides to people, it was a hassle getting in and out of the car because, again, it's a two-door, you know, luxury coupe. So anytime somebody wanted to get in behind me or the other seat, you had to get out, open the door, pull the seat forward, they can get in. Then you repeat the process when they want to get out. So it was kind of a hassle trying to do all that. And honestly, I was just getting kind of tired of having to deal with, you know, if anybody ever wanted a ride, being like, let's take your car because you have 4 doors and I only have 2. Now, yes, you can make the argument that I have the E55, which, yes, I do still have my E55. And that car's a 4-door. You could just drive that, right? But I don't really like using that car for things like that because that car smells like gas. It's very loud, and yeah, it's just not. That's a whole different topic for a different video. But I just wanted more room, and I wasn't going to go out and get a C63 sedan. Now, let me explain that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, if you get a C63 sedan, it sucks, you know, you're terrible and all that. No, they're fantastic cars. I just personally really prefer the look of the coupe. I think the coupe is one of the best looking sport coupe, that has been made within the last 10 years. It's a great looking car. It's much better looking than the BMW G Series M4. And it's so sleek, it's so great, especially the facelift cars, the 2019 or 2020 cars with the Panamericana grille and the digital dash and everything. It looked great. I mean, it's a great looking car. And I was like, man, I don't want a sedan. I really, really want a coupe. And then I'd be all over again in that same predicament that I was with the CL. I'd be back where I was talking about, well, I don't have much room. I'm kind of stuck in space. I need some more room. And it's like, where am I at? You know what I mean? It was just like, I didn't want to repeat the whole process all over again. And that's kind of what I would have done if I bought the W205 C63, the coupe, I should say, the coupe. Now, I was looking at a few. I will say that. I was looking at a few, and I was actually talking to the dealerships. One of them was in Austin, Texas, and they wanted about $45,000 for it, which was a 2017 C63s. That's going to segue us into reason number 2 behind me buying the E63 was the price. Now, yes, the E63 was more expensive than that C63, but it's newer, which you guys know I don't really care about the newer thing, but this car is the new generation of the E-Class W213, right? The W205 was the new C-Class then, but it had all the analog stuff, which is great, but I really, really wanted the digital dash. I really like the digital dash on the C63. I think it's awesome. It's very AMG GTS, GTR-esque, and it looks great in that car. The problem was I'd have to buy a 2019 or 2020 car, you know, facelifted car, and well, those C63s go for like $65,000. Now, I didn't want to spend $65,000. My maximum was $55,000. And I was like, I could probably find a C63 around that price range. It is probably going to be really, really, really beat up. But, hey, it's possible, right? I might be able to do it. Yeah, so it just wasn't going to work out. It really just wasn't going to work out. I mean, I'd have to get a pre-facelift C63, and then I'd miss all the stuff like the digital dash and some of the ambient lighting and all that kind of stuff, and I just didn't want to. That's kind of number two, is the price. I mean, you guys know I paid $50,000 for my E63 here, with everything included, and that's cheaper than I would have bought a C63, a comparable one, because with the miles. My car's got 53,000 miles on it. There's another C63 in sale for town with the same amount of miles. They want 59. It's a 2020 C63 with about 55-ish thousand miles. They want 59 for it, which is, it's up. But you guys got to remember, those cars are demanding a premium now. Because Mercedes came out and said, well, we're not building what is it called? A V8 C63, and we've seen what the inline 4 W206 is doing. Trash, nobody wants it. And they just said that they're not putting a V8 in that car again. Those cars are going to continue holding the price. I mean, it's just how it is. And that's great for somebody who wants to buy it and basically just keep it, not really drive the car. I like driving my car. So it's like, why would I want to buy a car that I might feel bad about driving because I'm putting miles on? I know it doesn't sound crazy because I'm not talking about a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or a Koenigsegg, or a Pagani, or whatever. But to me, that's a lot of money. $60,000, you know, and that's before tax, is a lot of money to spend on a car, you know, especially with nowadays with everything. But the E63 came up, and it was listed for 47, you know, with taxes, everything, it came out to around 50 and some change. And I was like, oh my God, that's like a great price, great mileage. The only thing I really didn't like about my E63 was the spec. You know, I wanted a white car with white interior, but this is not bad. This car's painted in selenite gray. I was gonna say magno, but selenite gray metallic with a black interior, which honestly, being a daily driver, the black interior is probably better because then you don't have to deal with, you know, it getting dirty and all that. But again, I don't really give people that many rides, which kind of nullifies my first point. And never mind. This car was just too much of a good deal to pass up. I think I got it for a really good deal. And from what I've seen online, I could probably get my money out of it if I tried selling it currently like private party. So I love the car. It is one of the sickest cars I've ever owned, and I have zero plans to sell this thing as of right now. Do I plan on getting a C63? Eventually, yes, I want a C63 because, again, this is going to segue us into the next point that I have to make. I wanted a car with all-wheel drive. I drove an M5 competition, and I was like, wow, I need a car with all-wheel drive because my E55 is really, it's fast, right? It's a fast car. It's full bolt-on, but when you floor it, it just roasts the tires. Even at 60 miles an hour, and it's dramatic, it's fun, you could do donuts and all that kind of stuff with it, great. But when you really want to just spank somebody off the line or something, the car will just sit there and fry its tires all day long. I wanted a car that's super fast, and once you mash the throttle, it goes like this. All right, let's slow it down because this guy in front of me is driving very slowly here. We're in, that was a little portion of Mexico. So the United States and Mexico actually have a little bit of a portion where you cross into Mexico for like about 500 feet. So yeah, but that's the next thing is the all-wheel drive. I really, 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 really wanted a car with all-wheel drive, and the E63 is the perfect car. I love the E-Class. You guys know the E-Class is my favorite Mercedes line, or, you know, Mercedes, whatever you want to call it. Model, or yeah, model, yeah, there it is, model. I have my W211 E55. That's my favorite Mercedes ever made, and I was like, dude, if I can add a W213 E63 to the stable, oh my God, that's gonna be perfect. Imagine that, the two beasts from Germany, the two hammers. I'm gonna put them side by side. Now the E55, I haven't driven in a while because it's got some stuff going on, but nonetheless, they are together, which looks great, and it's a great picturesque sort of thing. But this car here, it's just a great car, and it's been such a good daily driver for the last 2.5 months. I mean, I've enjoyed driving it. It's not the best thing on gas and mileage, but again, this is a twin turbo V8 with 602, well, they say 603, but we know they lied, with over 600 horsepower, so it definitely is not the best on gas. If I drive it normally and I use the auto start stop BS where it shuts off cylinders on the highway, I can actually get like 22, 23 miles a gallon on the highway, which is pretty good for a all-wheel drive twin turbo V8 sedan that could do like 190 miles an hour. But that's not why I bought the car. I didn't buy it to save gas, so disregard that whole thing. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the all-wheel drive. So the C63, as you guys know, only comes in rear-wheel drive. You cannot buy an all-wheel drive C63. They're all rear-wheel drive, which, again, don't discredit. I love rear-wheel drive. They're so much fun to drive. They're lighter cars. They're great. They handle really well. But there's something about this all-wheel drive aspect of the E63 that when I mash that throttle, I don't have to worry about spinning or anything. It just goes. And it's an absolute animal. It's quite literally a missile. Like what I put on the E55 plate, this thing is a missile. It just goes and it hits its target. I mean, it's an animal. It's a beast of a car, and I love this thing. But when it comes to, you know, just the whole aspect of it, I also really just wanted the E-Class. I think the E-Class also looks a little bit better than the C-Class. Don't get me wrong, they kind of all look the same, which is whatever. But this thing just looks so mean. The hips on this car are absolutely wild. I mean, you have the wide arches, you have the wide fenders, those massive rear tires, and this thing just has, it literally looks like it's a gorilla just standing ready to destroy you, because it is. Oh my God, I love this car. I love this car, and I'm so glad that I bought this thing. Again, I'm not discrediting a C63. The C63 is an awesome, awesome, awesome car, and I want a W204, and it's gonna be a coupe, but I just don't, it just didn't make any sense to, you know, to go from a coupe to a coupe when one of my biggest things was I just wanted something with 4 doors and a little bit more room. But what are you gonna do? I mean, you know, I bought the E63. I have zero regrets about buying this car. I want to get that out of the way. I said that at the beginning of the video, and I want to say it again. I have zero regrets about buying this car. I know I made the right choice because I love this thing. This thing is it's so good. It is so, so, so good. And I've driven an M5 recently, not the G90, the F90, and I would still take my E63 over that. The thing is fast, especially with the ZF8 speed. It's a fast car. But the interior on the E63, I like it more. I like the way the E63 looks, and I really, oh my God, I mean, I love the sound of the M177. It's so good. Now, that's one other little gripe that I kind of want to answer. People might be like, oh, well, Evo, why didn't you just go ahead and get a W204 C63? Well, I didn't want a W204 C63. I wanted a W213 or W205 because I can have the M177, so I could do this. When I tell you guys, this thing is so violent. Oh my God. I love this car. I love this damn car. This thing is nuts. I put it in Sport Plus, you floor it, you just kind of hear the turbos build up a little bit, they spool a little bit, and then it just goes, man. And it just goes like a freight train. There is zero boost drop off. There's none. There's no such thing as boost drop off or, you know, anything. There's not even really any lag, especially if you launch the car from a standstill. It just takes off and it hits you immediately. And I'm not, you know, I wasn't standing there going like this pretending that I was getting pushed back. No, the car physically pushed me back. This thing's got so much torque and so much power, it's crazy. Now, am I going to do any modifications to it? I did the intakes. I've been really contemplating doing downpipes. I don't know if I want to. Now, let me answer why. To do all that, I'd have to, one, buy the downpipes. They're like $1,700 from Red Star, which is the reputable company. You don't want to buy Chinese stuff. Trust me, just don't deal with it. Red Star. And then I also need to get the car tuned. I would ideally like to go with Eurocharged. I've read their tunes online. A lot of people run them and the cars perform very well. That tune is about $3,000. So if you guys are doing some quick math, I'm already at $4,700 for a tune and for the downpipes. Now, to do the downpipes properly, you got to take the transmission out, because otherwise you either cut the cats out to remove them because there's no room to take them out, or you have to take the transmission out. Taking the transmission out is not a small job. You got to take the trans out and the transfer case out that comes along with it. You got to take it all out. You got to throw on the downpipes, and then you got to tune it, of course, and then it'll make insane power and be fast, which I'm kind of convincing myself to do it now. But my thought process is, okay, I could do that, or I could just take all that money and just put it into the E55, which that might not be a bad deal. I could take all that money, put it into the E55, and make the E55 just a monster. I mean, it needs a little bit more work. I ideally want to get I want to get it retuned and then dyno it and kind of see where it's at. And then from there, I'm thinking about doing a Whipple supercharger. It's going to cost me about $7 grand for everything. But if I could get it done, oh my God. I just want it to be I want to make that car into like a Hellcat killer, because that's the OG Hellcat. And I just want it to destroy everything in its path. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be faster than this. Even with the more power, it might be faster top range, but like from a launch, there's no way this car's faster. But that's my plan. Keep this stock, daily drivable, you know, do some cosmetic things like the steering wheel and some other stuff like that. But overall, just make the car more cosmetically my style. You know, you guys know I put on those speakers, which I love the way the tweeters look, especially with the lighting at night and everything. But that's my kind of end goal kind of with the E63s. I just want to do a little bit more cosmetic stuff to it, and I don't know if I really want to mess with it. I mean, I say that now, but it's going to be like 2 months from now, and I'm going to make a video talking about I bought downpipes for my E63. Maybe. I don't know. I don't promise anything. But as of right now, I just want to keep the car completely stock, and I just want to enjoy the car just because it's really fast. Like, this car is really, really, really fast. And realistically, I don't use the power of this car consistently anywhere. You can't do, you know, 190 miles an hour on the streets here in Las Vegas. One, because you're going to endanger you and everybody else on the road. Two, if you get pulled over, you're going to jail. For sure, you're going to jail. And three, it's just kind of stupid. I mean, don't be doing 190 miles an hour on the streets. You know, there's places to go out and do that, like in Germany on the Autobahn. Obviously, not all of us can access Germany in the Autobahn, but I'm saying, like, there's probably like a racetrack or something around you that you could potentially find and go do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or in Mexico. But realistically, don't be doing anything stupid on the street. And you can't use this car's full potential on the street. You just can't. No, actually, a lot of these performance cars, no, you know, the M5 you can't, the RS6, the E55, you can't really use any of these cars as full potential on the street because they're too fast. But I love this thing. I adore this car. It's just so good. It's so good. And I, again, don't think I made the wrong decision. I think I made the right decision buying my E63. Let me know down below what you guys think. That, you know, in your opinion, did I make the right decision? Did I buy the right car? Or did I kind of flunk it and I should have bought a C63? I don't know. Let me know. Because those facelift coupe C63s, man, they look good. But let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you guys for taking the time, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.